Hey there, so I'm really excited to bring this one to you guys, and this is from Stone Brewing. This is Neverending Haze. So I just reviewed the light-hearted ale, and this is in the same vein. This is 4%, so this is another low Abv IPA, but they don't list the calories, but I assume it's generally low in calories because it is lower in alcohol. But instead of riffing off of Two Hearted, which is what Bell's did, this is riffing off of the Haze craze. So this is a low ABV, 4% hazy IPA, highlighting Citra Mosaic, the cheater hops. Really exciting to see what Stone can do with this style. Both low ABV and haze. So first off, this beer pours out beautiful. It pours almost like Treehouse Julius. Let's see how milky it is as it pours out. Not completely hazy on the pour, but it results in this medium plus, almost full haze kind of beer. It has a really thick kind of like color to it in the sense that it has this kind of like apricot juice, kind of really deep, medium orange kind of hue to it. It has a slightly off-white yellowish head. Very good looking beer. Let's get the aroma on this one. Oh, wow. Wow. So, by the way, this is brewed with kveiki, so Norwegian farmhouse yeast that can ferment at very high temperatures very quickly without too much phenolics and actually generally with no phenolics and strange flavors that would generally result from a high temperature fermentation. Wow. That smells like juice. I mean, it has this little bit of treehousey kind of thing going on, a little bit of other happy. It has this kind of like light, kind of like banana, bubblegummy kind of ester thing. I get a lot of kind of like, almost like Galaxy. I would assume this beer was Galaxy because it has got that kind of like familiar for me. It's kind of like mango sorbet kind of note to it, passion fruit. Wow. Absolutely fantastic nose on this. I mean, this smells like genuine world-class haze to it. It just has this combination of a little bit of that ester profile, concentrated tropical juiciness. It has that almost like, you see it, but it almost smells like it's thick because the fruits are just so dynamic and intense on here. There's nectarine, apricot, stone fruit richness. It's just ripe and dripping out of the glass. Absolutely fantastic aroma on this one. This was canned 3 weeks ago. Cheers. Let's not get nuts here, guys. This is still 4% beer, all right? So, very good for 4% though. Up front, I actually get a little bit more a citrus quality. So I get almost like lime, orange peel, maybe a little bit of like lime, lemon peel in here, but there's that kind of citrusy, oily edge to it, a little bit spritzy. It does have that, a little bit of that soft kind of apricot nectarine kind of fruitiness to it. A little bit of mango dancing in there. A light kind of like doughiness, that kind of familiar kind of like chew and like I mean, I assume there's wheat or oats in here. That kind of like adjunct grain kind of like washing on the palate. Yeah. And then a little bit dry. There's a little bit of twang on the back end. Maybe that's the water, something in there. Really smooth, really creamy. I like there's a little spritz of citrus in there. A little bit dry. Still a little bit that kind of adjunct grain, just like sitting around there. There's like a little bit of that kind of like light kind of dough and white bread thing that just sort of sits on the palate. A little bit like oatmeal, right? That graininess and that chew that sort of just sits on your palate. And then it just washes away because again, it's 4%. It's not going to like sort of have that intensity, richness of a proper IPA at 6, 7, 8% or double IPA. Wow, very impressed. See now, if you're a haze fan, this works. This is obviously a lot more light body, but it has the aromatics. It has the appearance. It has the flavors you're looking for, but it's just sort of like, I mean, I guess it's offensive, somewhat offensive to call it like it's watered down New England IPA, but that's sort of what it is. But it still does its job, and you're still getting the sensation of what you're wanting, but it's obviously much lower alcohol. It's much lower in calories. And like, on a night where you don't feel like drinking, 6, 7% beers, maybe a 4% beer will do the job. And have 2, 3 of these and you're probably gonna be very satisfied. I'm very satisfied with the flavor impact on this one. I think it executes very well for what you're looking for with New England IPA. Jesus Christ. I might have to throw this into my repertoire if I'm like really itching for New England IPA and like don't really want to like, you know, find something like big, intense, 16 ounce, 8%, 16 ounce cans, 8%, right? 12 ounce can, 4%. You really can like, you know, you're almost drinking like half as much as that. It does a great job. You know, it's awesome. This for me is very, very good. Almost no breweries like can execute New England IPA at this ABV. Not that they don't even try, but I bet many can't. It's not that high. Light ding on this one. This one for me is getting a 95. Highly, highly recommended. This is awesome. I freaking think it's fantastic. If you guys are Haze boys out there, if you guys are itching for some New England IPA, please give this a shot. Again, you're not gonna get the experience of a full-on, full-bodied, super like juice bomb kind of New England IPA, but I think for what it is, it does an amazing job. You're not going to find a hoppy beer at 4% that is doing what this does. A lot of them are going to be just session IPAs that are gonna be clear, they're gonna be your all days. Like the light hearted ale that I had, they're not going to execute what this is, which is that, you know, huge aromatic. It does the mouthfeel thing pretty well. It hits like almost all the check marks of a proper New England IPA, and then just has it in a tiny, tiny little beer at 4%. It's fantastic. It's impressive. Until next time, guys. Cheers. Check this out later.